Many fighters disagreed with this stoppage right here. Bilal Muhammad saying that wasn't even tight. Chase Hooper saying the exact opposite, saying, I get it looked deep, but the ref should never stop a choke like that. He wasn't limp at all. Pretty confident it'll get overturned, which it ended up getting overturned. And Tim Elliott saying, worst ref in the game. Dominic Cruz saying, it sucks for the fighters. They put in this whole camp to be in shape for the ref not to know what a submission looks like. I knew what it looked like from here. He was closer than me. What do you know? What do you not know? Excuse me. Dominic Cruz says it sucks for the fighters. They put in this whole camp to be in shape for the ref not to know what a submission looks like. I knew what it looked like from here. He was closer than me. What do you not know? You have one job. So Dominic Cruz pretty harsh on this referee. To me, what it looked like was the guy dropped his arm. It looked like he went out and went limp. You have to remember, this is a knockout, right? So, excuse me, this is a submission. So it's not a knockout to where the knockout is instant. You shut off instantly as though you just pulled the plug. The submission choke is more of a gradual process. I would argue that when he's being choked, he's on his way out, and that's why the arm goes limp. But again, it went limp so fast and the ref jumped in so fast that it didn't completely pull the plug on him. He didn't completely switch off. So he's still somewhat there. His arm just went out, but he's still somewhat there enough to where as soon as that pressure gets alleviated, he comes right back to life. And we've seen that in other fights. We've seen that in fights like Ben Askren and Robbie Lawler. That's a perfect example right there. I think, in a tight spot like that, you start to go out, you start to fade, you drop, and then when the ref jumps in like that, right, because you don't want that chokehold to be on there forever. You could cut off oxygen to the brain. Like, people could die. Irreprehensible. I don't think that's the word for it, but crazy brain damage could happen. Anything could happen when you leave a choke on for too long, and he jumps in there. As soon as that pressure gets alleviated, they come back to it, I don't think that's far-fetched. I mean, we've also seen people get knocked out and then they get hit while they're knocked out and they spark back up into consciousness. Look at Jose Aldo versus Conor McGregor. The first punch puts him out. The hammer fist sort of wakes him up. After the hammer fist, he's looking around like, what happened? But prior to that, he would have been out. We've seen that time and time again. It's just one of these things. For Dominic Cruz to come out and be so harsh, I think that's just due to some bitterness on his end, in the fact that, he feels that the Henry Cejudo fight was stopped early and things like that. It's just one of those things, man. As for these guys, as for Bilal Muhammad, I mean, saying this wasn't even tight, I mean, it's pretty tight, bro. I mean, like, it's all relative, right? Is it the tightest? Probably not. Maybe it could be a little tighter, but it's tight enough that he's got him in a clearly vulnerable position right here. And again, the fact that arm just went limp is not a good sign. Bro had snot coming out of his nose afterwards. You get what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't good. Like, he was not in any way, I don't know. I think he was on his way out. I think, again, there's two ways, right? I'm gonna liken it to a computer. If you turn off a computer, you'll see that, you'll see the process of it shutting down. And it doesn't just go out like this, as though if you pulled the plug from the computer. When you pull the plug, like a knockout, it goes out like that. When you shut it down properly, it takes a while. And I think he was in the taking a while process. And in that process, he dropped the arm. The arm fell down. He's out for that split tenth of a second. And then the ref jumps in. As soon as the ref jumps in, the fighter relieves the pressure. So now all of a sudden, all that oxygen goes back to the brain. And now the fighter is okay. For Daniel Cormier and Dominic Cruz to go on this big rant like, it was some travesty, I don't know. I didn't really think there was need for that. And, yeah, that's my take on it personally. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree with me, disagree with me, it does not matter. Just join the discussion. Thank you. And, of course, follow for more.